Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban.
Aw, come on.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
StarLadder.
Radiant team. Dire team pick.
Luna.
Radiant team ban.
No.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve
Game
time.
number 2 now of Horde facing off against Finem.
I think I can't live up to that. That was a bit too much. I need you to scale back. Throw some insults maybe next, maybe tomorrow. Just really go at it. Just so
Radiant
people will be
team
completely out of
ban.
context and just totally shred me to shit or something. But there you go. That's the spirit. First big thing, StarLadder. What a hero. We've been seeing a lot of him lately, and this time he will slip
Dire
through the
team
first
ban.
bans. So we'll be seeing either a position 4, position 3 StarLadder, or some sort of in-between to go for maybe a greedier 4. We still have some of those Earth Spirits left. Disruptor's now removed. Sanking has been removed by Horde, so their 2 classic counters to the IO are
10
gone, and we might have to
seconds
start looking for
remaining.
someone else. They don't have the position 1 hero to counter it either. Sometimes you'll see a Clinks or a
5
Weaver
seconds
maybe
remaining.
slipping on through. Speaking of which, perhaps a some sort of a Drow strat and getting that sort of bonus
Reserve
damage onto a
time.
support Weaver could be the kind of stuff you look for, or you just go control on an Earth Spirit, which is one of Pablo's best heroes. So those are the kind of things I think Horde are probably thinking about at the current moment. And add for them, well, they have just this weird map shenanigan action happening once more. Auras, heals, difficult sustain to fight through, which is really bad for a Luna. If she tries to like throw it in Eclipse or something, it can be utterly useless into that mid game if Underlord gets a pipe.
Dire team pick.
I think Horde really values tanking. I think he's a very strong hero and don't want to leave him in a 2-3 pick. Just him plus numerous heroes can be very difficult to deal with off lane, as well as the fact that he works like StarLadder, that he can be used in position 4 or position 3 and can mask a lot of your draft. I would call it maybe slightly surprising that they did leave both the Underlord and the IO in, though. That combination, you already know they run it well. They did numerous big plays with it in the previous match, so Horde, perhaps after seeing that, have worked something out where they think they have a good idea.
Dazzle.
Deal with it that, I guess maybe it's you go back to something along the lines of that Earth Spirit that you were talking about to allow you to kick somebody out of like the Underlord ulti. It always feels a little bit sketchy, but it's nice plays if you can get it done.
It's No Fear, I think. Shout out to No Fear, that big play. Yeah,
that was great. Yeah. But I guess I'm wondering, like, the Dazzle getting taken this early, that would force StarLadder to position 3, and with the Rubik already in lane, that could pose some trouble. I guess that IO isn't the best at being able to take him down. Do you think they can run an Earth Spirit on Horde still?
Yeah, I would say so. No reason not to. If you want to shove your StarLadder into that 3. Darkseer is also still there, though, so they could be considering, again, Darkseer pretty good up against Underlord. You would be able to get him. He could be even more sustained out of your Dazzle. You have the dual lane of StarLadder with the Iron Shell, being able to pressure down bottom. It is dire side, so maybe not quite as good. However, we've seen numerous times how important high ground defense is. And Darkseer has been winning a lot of the games we've been casting, or at least he looks very strong whenever we have him, so we'll see if they end up doing that. Batrider, again, also still there, and only the IO currently there for a save for Finem could be an option.
Yeah, I guess that eventually Underlord's going to build into a mechanism, but that's not something that's really going to be able to tip the scales all the time. They do have the Juggernaut now as well for a little bit of extra sustain, so this could be a quick push strat coming out from Finem if they wanted to double down and, say, run another mid-Jakiro. You never know. It's a possibility. Maybe they rate it highly. Is there any way that you would ban that for Horde, or is that just specifically because of the Ember Spirit? Oh, nice call there.
Good hero. I'd probably be more worried about someone more traditional, like maybe an SF. I think that's what they banned last game, final. Right. And again, it would look pretty strong here for Finem.
Okay. Ooh. Well, taken out of the pool as well. Yeah, I feel like right now with that Darkseer pick, we've talked about the team fight potential. StarLadder just in general is so strong, so needing to deal with another mid laner who could cause issues. Maybe going back for the Invoker? Actually, I wouldn't mind it from either side. They do ban the Jakiro.
You're quite right. I wonder, maybe they'll snag up the SF then. Wouldn't be the worst thing with the Darkseer. They could use an AoE combo. It'd be a pretty cool puck game, but I haven't seen Excalibur opt into that one. That'd be more of a Finem kind of style, but...
Do you not like Invoker too much? Oh god.
All right, that's pretty good. It's more of a Excalibur style hero. I guess you start thinking towards his Tinker, or in this case it'll be his TA, another one that he was known for spamming.
Yeah. Talk about minus armor. This is going to be a ton of damage from Horde early on. I think TA could probably afford just to go for a straight up Blink Dagger instead of rushing the Deso, honestly.
Yeah, she does have nice control too, though. Like being surged forward with that Deso can be so strong. And if StarLadder has a decent time, can get into that Blink Dagger, he's going to be the one who's calming up the vacuum for this whole game. So, as usual, a lot of pressure on the StarLadder player to make sure he gets that done. But there's a reason this guy gets picked so early in every single draft. Very good at doing so.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen it. Blink Daggers come up as early as like the 9-minute mark on StarLadder with all the bounty runes around the map and being able to be a part of ganks early. Juggernaut, not a good hero to gank. Rubik and Io probably would be the two they'd be able to kill, but there is a decent amount of damage in that safe lane if you get enough right clicks off onto the Underlord, but I don't know, I imagine he just builds tanky in there against the right clicks and then it's basically just Lucent Beam and Crush. They've left it open, so Horde's showing they're not afraid.
Adds a decent bit of global presence.
I wouldn't mind the Tinker either. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Shadow Fiend that you called out. I think it's good enough that it's worth taking here.
It's a little spooky.
He's always spooky. He eats people's souls, man.
10
Good at all.
seconds remaining.
But yeah, I think
Well.
the TA is just a little bit too much. Not going to have the best help in the mid if you're an SF. TA probably give you a pretty rough time. StarLadder could roam in and make things even worse, especially when the traps came up. So it's still more of that push strategy, though. The DP, nice little damage instances to actually deal with the refraction, something that someone like SF or, of course, Puck, one of the more traditional ones where you just say dumpstered by TA. So
Yeah.
DP should have an okay time here.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I've only seen a couple of DP games really work out well. This patch, one of the big ones was when Inflame was playing it, and he ran a great Death Prophet built around just trying to, dominate the lane in the same way that you would normally. And I think that he went Atos. It was like Yule's Atos, maybe. And the new Atos change just helped her so much as well. Feels like it could be quite strong.
Also, all that armor, too. Just being up against the minus armor, it'd be nice to build in some of those auras. It'd be helpful going their way too.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this. So we'll see. Curious to see how Skylark will build with all that physical damage. Maybe we'll see a Vlad's come up for him. There could have been the potential for maybe a Crimson, but even just going to an early poor man shield kind of starts to negate that possibility.
Maybe next time in a little bit of trouble there finding which route to take to get the ward down, but ended up gaining it in the end, so not bad. Meanwhile, Madara, I don't know if Ake spotted him here.
No, he did not. He snuck his way in there with the ward. Now they'll bump into each other.
Yeah.
But perfectly pinged out. They know exactly where that dire ward is, so very handy. At the same time, Ake probably knows there's something here, because Juggernaut was standing inside these trees.
And did Jug have... Yeah, he had a space open where you first get your item as well. So should probably realize that, hey, there was something. That's one of the little things that I do to spot out if somebody's placed a ward also is see
really
if the
good
first
in
slot's missing. Yeah,
it works like every time.
Thug. They spot out Pablo is here. They have the slow available if they wanted to go for it. Maybe next time has the lift back if they want to go for that as well. But opting to go for the dive.
I think they know it's so unlikely.
Yeah. Well, here we are again. Another series pushed to, well, obviously it's the best of two, but in a little bit of a scary spot right now for Horde. Having already lost one, lift up, maybe gonna get it? Oh, maybe next time. Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, Rubik's so obnoxiously good at that. Sand Kings too with that early stun time. Doesn't matter about the gap close at all. You just can camp the rune. Hey, the 0 second back. So well done. A little bonus for them, taking away some resources from your opponent, especially because your mid laner when you're on the offlane, he always comes and steals your rune. Feels bad,
Oh yeah.
Can't get any help these days.
So mid lane, the matchup of Excalibur versus Thug, TA versus DP. What are the big things to look out for in this one, as far as who ends up winning the match?
I'm mostly curious as to what they're going to do with their StarLadder in regards to it, because it's actually Pablo who's up top, and they're not even using the Iron Shell down bottom that way. Whereas you might think that it would be the StarLadder who would kind of come mid and try and bully the DP. But for the most part, it's just always trying to get your side blades going, right? Just always harassing Thug, staying close to the wave. It's ranged here, already forced out a salve now. And until the levels are up, the Spirit Siphon won't do that much work to Excalibur. And maybe next time he's gonna do the greaser. So matchup doesn't matter. How about a dragon? Say goodbye to your range creep. He only gets the range creep actually, so that's not a big deal.
Yeah, he actually tried to do it on the first round as well to see if he could pull it and missed the pull down to the low ground. So not completely up to date on all of those changes. That's one of those things that you can do it, but if you don't do it perfectly, you lose out on a lot of the value.
Yeah, it's frustrating. You can do it from both sides too.
Yeah.
Although it has to be pushed further, I believe, if you want to do it from the right-hand side here. But again, we'll go. And this time he gets them all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's working as intended. Problem.
Yeah. It's also possible on the dire side, but it's a lot harder to get the timing right every time. I think you have to cut this tree and drop it. If you drop it on this half, he'll walk this way. But if you drop it over here, he'll walk this way.
You can also just place the ward down as well and get vision of them, which does work. Although I guess you might not have the range at that point with level 1. But Well, maybe next time, getting levels by virtue of this. Well, actually, no, he's not, because none of the creeps have really died. He's just getting levels otherwise. But they have stacked up this camp also. So TA might be able to eventually steal that, but Pablo is going to have to come down and try and run interference. Not get the pull this time.
Yeah, this is one thing. Just from him standing here, there's really not much Rubik can do.
Oh.
And now, here we go. Nice little damage instances, so... This is Excalibur's life, slightly harder. Second point up into the Crypt Swarm, so you can just suck him dry until he loses it, and then go for the Q.
Man. Well, early winning right now for Finem. They're leading CS pretty much across all the lanes, and Excalibur is not even having an option to last hit.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. He has like a half-level disadvantage, and there wasn't really anything he could even do about it.
Dang.
And look who it is again.
All right, guys, we got it. Hey, creeps, come hang out over here.
Oh, that's
do they kill it off? They might actually do it. Oh, man. All right, well, a little bit of luck going the way of TA there.
That's nice. At least he got the last hit. Maybe next time felt bad.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the other lanes, we talked about 21 or 24 and 1 on the Juggernaut. Meanwhile, Darkseer has only gotten 9 last hits so far, and they're going to start to deal some damage to him. The surge away, the ball's hitting him in the face, but not able to find any kills as of yet. Pablo's going to rotate in and see if he can help him out a little bit. Mid lane, they do manage to get another pull off here. Maybe next time, I was in trouble.
Oh, this is greasy. That's so frustrating. Well, bottom, they bring the StarLadder in, just knowing Spin will be down for a while. It's got a very long cooldown. But not able to apply too much pressure. It does mean Pablo gets his bounty rune though.
Oh.
Maybe next time, might miss this one. Yeah.
He gets the range creep there.
Dire's bottom
But still,
tower is under attack.
very tough situation right now for TA. I mean, she's going to have to go back to farming the jungle, basically. And it's kind of a weird spot, too, because you can't necessarily sit somebody mid to try and soak up whatever doesn't get stacked or pulled back in, rather. Wait, how'd that creep come back? Did they all die?
He might have lost, I don't know, vision or something.
It's very strange. Bottom lane, Madara. Got his healing ward canceled out. Now Pablo continuing the chase. He does have a stun if he wants to use it, but opting to not as Madara's been up against him and just decided to back on out again.
Spartan just continuing to aid him down here. It's already a nice matchup for a Jug, right? You have the healing ward, you can deal with the general Ion Shell spam, but now with the aggressive spin too, they might be able to go back in. Well, Ion Shells. They have plenty of mana still left here on these kills. He's got a Soul Ring too.
They'll have an Ion Shell creep on top of him as well, but yeah, as soon as Spartan comes back in, there's more than enough regen to be able to survive through this.
He's also closing in on 6-2, so it gets more and more dangerous. The Omni Slash being available. Excalibur's doing okay. He's up to 5 1/4. He's recovering from his very frustrating mid lane here. But there's also a DD rune here onto Thug, so I'll have to be a little bit cautious. And there is no detection in sight on the DP, but there's a sentry being held on the Rubik.
So put this in the context for me, because right now, if I'm looking at this, this looks god-awful for Horde. They're getting pulled in the mid lane, they're getting beat out. Well, I guess Luna's still getting a decent amount of farm, but Darkseer is really not. Is this something that you sort of need to start switching up the lanes, or just kind of create chaos? What's the plan here?
Well, they're gonna go for a smoke play to try and catch maybe this Rubik. Actually, they're looking for the Underlord. Well, maybe they'd opt in for him, but this will be a nice play. They have Eclipse here too. Ooh, but can't find the angle.
This looks like it might end up working. They actually do find the kill. Skylark goes down. Ake able to find it. Maybe next time pull back into the tower, but can't take him down. I think they'd be able to take down the Underlord. Very tanky. They don't take the tower.
Alright, good kill. That's a nice start. The Luna getting out of control will probably be the best bet. The only thing is TA, like, she needs to be the most farmed hero on the map all the time. And I'm not sure how they're going to accelerate that. Probably going to be through StarLadder, Ion Shell kind of plays. It's tough to make the Ion Shell really work on a TA with her like being surged in and everything. So ideally you bring both those heroes. In the mid lane would be the dream, but not a very easy thing to achieve. That ward will be spotted out. Nice rotation.
This is a little bit scary now, Thug.
Whew.
My god, that was a lot of damage. The Dark Rift coming in onto the catapult. They want to try and take this fight. Everybody's there. Omni Slash going to switch over to Pablo. Doesn't manage to hit the crush there. But he saw that DP did not have a second Spirit Siphon up and online. She used it earlier on the creeps. But I don't think it would have mattered anyways. There was just too much burst damage there.
Alright, well, that's what they needed. Excalibur some gold, now actually over top of the DP. And this is when they'll just start looking towards finding those neutral camps, abusing Ancients, anything you can do to get yourself into a higher plane of net worth. Spartan just going to end up being harassed here, it looks like.
I'm going to aggressively move into their direction as well. He just wants to try and take him down, but the healing ward there as well should be able to keep him alive. Spartan is not at all afraid. Hasted Rune, and it looks like with this, they might just be able to secure the Tier 1 tower.
Alright, come on, dude.
He's just gone. Alright, people are clowning a little bit. That is ended up coming at the cost of Excalibur's life, so Tug just walks at him. And now, also showing up, the Invis Pablo, Ion Shell on top of him as well.
I like this, doesn't want to fight the DP. Much harder to try and bring down.
They have the Invis rune still there for a little while. Ake.
Well, Skylark noticed too.
Well, nice use there of the Grave as well to keep himself alive. So, 2-3 so far, 8 minutes in, a much less action-packed game than we saw last time around. Very passive and just wanting to get these carries up to their maximum potential. And right now, Madara is the one who's leading the way, currently up 900 gold over that Luna. DP leading mid.
Yeah, Jug always been one of Madara's best heroes. There were a couple patches where he just brought them back from the brink of games that they had no right winning. Just through big spin TP plays, and again they found another game where it always seems like they are able to find these games where there's virtually no BKB piercing stuns. There will be the Bash here this time, but of course it is support on the StarLadder, so you don't get many levels up into it, up to the 25%. Not very early on in the game, they'd have to rely on that to stop them spin TPs.
This is the play down bottom. They have Omni Slash in just a couple of seconds for Madara. Just about to be off cooldown. Don't even need it. Just finish them off. Move in. Think about even taking down that tower if you want. You got the Wild Wing Ripper there. Healing ward as well. Damage is starting to be done, and we'll see what reaction Horde has to this. They can relocate or TP in with Eclipse if they wanted to, but might be a bit too bold.
Yeah, headdress, healing ward, and the armor aura here. Oh, this is a nice play.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. He had to leave Madara though because of the fortify, so it doesn't work out perfectly for them. And they're gonna try to abuse this.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it. Omni Slash is there, turns on to Orc, and might be able to actually kill off the Luna. If they can find this kill in response, oh, it's not quite gonna happen. Spartan trying to make the save, it's not gonna be there. Madara amped up and brought down.
Probably had a spin TP play there if he wanted to go for it, but wanted to try and find Gork.
So well played there by the side of Horde to just react effectively and I mean,
melted.
Another
That was
pickoff.
a death province. Did you see that?
What? Yeah, that's pretty absurd.
Damn. They activated the haste rune. Looked like it was Thug this time getting a bit greedy, much like Spartan. After them, these haste runes, man, they can't control themselves. It's the invincibility rune proving not to be very invincible. It's always people, you know, flying too close to the sun.
Mm-hmm. Well, currently about 10 minutes into it, you can see still very back and forth as far as the game is concerned. Horde are leading in terms of kills, but it does sort of feel like it could go either way at this point. I really like the way that Finem have been moving on the map and taking objectives, and it feels like that's something that's going to continue. How do you feel like Horde are going to try and deal with this? Do they play the pick-off game, or do you think they can fight into them once they get these blinks online?
Yeah, I think ideally it again, talking draft just comes down to Pablo. When his Blink Dagger comes out, just has so much bearing on what his team can achieve and accomplish. But at the same time, thanks to all that pressure in the mid lane, Excalibur might end up going for that Blink first. He does have it queued up for now. And although I do think in the lineup that typically the Deso would be the more ideal solution, the fact that he was pressured so heavily mid as well as shut down by literally not even getting creeps, you can understand why he might feel the need to go into that Blink Dagger first and fight into the side of Finem. But we'll see what he ends up buying. And they still have that mech to wait for on E-skill too. He is closing in on it though.
Sort of one of those things where you almost need to try and fight your way continuously as these pressure comes onto the tower. And Skylark, enough money now for the mechanism if they want to go for it. Maybe next time has Crush stolen. Really great spell to steal for him. And Big Chug going back in for the Manta style.
They're rooting this helm creep too. And got him.
Get out of here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, so nobody really showing up to defend mid-tower. They might try and go for some type of rotation from the other side, try to find the stomp, but was not there. Is any team in any type of timer at all? Like last game we thought that Jakiro pick was going to put Finem on a timer. Obviously they ended up going into the late stages with it.
I would think that Finem would want to be pressuring very soon. You have a Luna who's up to level 12, so you know she's more than likely rocking the full glaives, which she is. So her farming of neutrals is very quick. She can abuse Ancients just as much as TA at this point. She already has a helm going. She's building into the Dragonlance. You know, TA's it's doing the exact same thing in the jungle right now. So trying to limit the overall map and just making use of every one of your exorcisms, building off of that, much like a Faceless Void and Chronospheres. Same idea.
Oh. Well, and they're trying to go on a mid, but the relocate comes over to the other side, and that is going to end up being a kill in the top lane. Looks like Gork as well as Ake will stick around for a moment. Io trying to channel the TP, not quite on time, so Spartan is going to end up being brought down here.
Oh, nice. That's a good pick. I was actually watching bottom because they're splitting the map here too. They've got that mid lane going, and then Pablo's down bottom, building up into his Blink Dagger, and also counter split pushing right now. So, despite the kill on Dax here, not a massive loss for the side of Horde, but still, in the end, a win for Finem. And yeah, nice grab.
He's really, really close to getting that Blink Dagger. Would love to be able to pick it up. See if they can run him down as, well, another lift not going to be there. So Pablo is going to escape, and that should allow him to finish off that item.
All right, close one. I guess as long as he was able to hand over the sprint, which he did to maybe next time and not give him crush, he was going to be okay there. And you're right, there's that blink. Oh, now knowing there's no sentries here, so maybe next time he might go in. Of course, he could not be certain as to what Ake is actually holding, and he'll back away.
Well, still very even. Horde leading in terms of experience, splitting up the map pretty effectively. And in the meantime, does look like maybe next time is going to see if he can get any more value out of this Invis rune. He's going up tops to where Excalibur is. They are going to bring in the Centaur Conqueror. Can they?
Career? No, can't get it.
Maybe? Alright, relocate gank in. They're going to get it. So, oh, nice blink away, Excalibur. They weren't able to perfectly time it together, and so it is not going to end up being a kill.
It's funny that happens. I was just about to mention before that went as definitely an error on my part. In terms of like being against an IO lineup, it's almost always you'll see those blinks come out first, just to watch out for those relocate ganks, especially when you're in a situation like this where it looks like you're going to need to be split pushing quite a bit. So right there, already showing it off. Excalibur wisely grabbing this blink dagger early on to make it much more difficult for them to try and gank him with these bigger plays, the IO. However, it is now time to finally use one of these exorcisms as the Thug just passed level 12, getting the second point in, and it should be an uncontestable Roche. They'll just try and pressure down bottom with Gork.
Yeah. This makes sense. I mean, it's really nice too because this is what you would have loved to be able to do on Horde. They have so much minus armor, and shutting that down now, they're coming in too little too late. Like, they smoked up to try and move back to defend it, but not going to end up happening. And that is so key for these lineups to gain that momentum. And it kind of speaks to why Finem probably took that DP in the last pick.
Oh, well, they did a good job of it last game. Started to falter a bit at one point, but then just that one big break opened the whole game up for them, and now they're already back down bottom.
Crush onto 2, vacuum onto 3, wall behind them all. They're going to do a ton of damage back the other direction, though. Skylark maybe next time trying to bring them all down. Eclipse is out as well. Juggernaut dead in the middle of it all, and Excalibur getting ran down as well. Omni Slash, they trying to chase and should be able to kill off this TA, I believe. Yes, she is going to go down. Now Thug chasing down Gorik. They have the silence down as well, so there isn't going to be a grade here. Ake already has used it anyways. Maybe next time coming in for the Fade Bolt. Chase down Pablo. They're going to relocate in and see if they can take down Ake here. Slowed and soon to be brought down as well. So 2 already dead, about to be a third. Iska will get out, but what a disaster right there for Horde.
Yeah, really aggressive play there. I think they were hoping that it would be just like a single hero coming down to push this out and then catch them by surprise from the high ground. But Finem, again, moving as a big unit, understanding how strong all their auras are, and they were looking to punish with that Aegis. So successfully done. They do lose it, but well worth it for what they got in return.
I guess that they kind of just blew the whole load on top of Madara, and then, you know, as soon as he comes back up, there's nothing else to deal with the rest of them, so very tough situation to deal with.
And you think about Darkseer and like his defensive buildings and towers, it's, oh, Madara!
Push back in. No, the IO heal. There's too much regen there. The mechanism with IO on top of him being too strong. I need to throw down a Pit of Malice, but having already used it, they are going to get crushed up as 2. Slowed down as well. They have the Firestorm, and they're able to just dismantle the Dazzle.
Weave is kicking on Madara, though.
Got Excalibur. He's in a lot of trouble. The wall has already been dropped. I don't know if it's going to end up being enough, though, and Spartan on the other side is going to be able to increase that movement speed of Madara. It looks like they will be able to keep the pressure on this tier 2 tower in the bottom lane, and, I mean, Pablo's here to cut the creep wave, but they have enough to take the tower.
Yeah, he's doing what he can, but that ain't much. They do have the creeps, so tower down. Oh, I can understand the want to fight. They probably knew Exorcism was still down at that point. They knew Omni Slash was down. It was a pretty good opportunity for them, but
oh my god.
Yeah. No reason not to go high ground at this point. Everything's back up.
They are going to have Weave on them all, and probably at a somewhat critical duration.
He does have Manta on Madara, though.
Oh, did he steal back Weave? Oh, vacuum wall onto him. No wall drop. Pablo in some trouble. He is going to get dropped down now. Excalibur also going to fall. This game could be over before it even started. Ake dropped low as well. They end up finding that kill on Madara. Excalibur is not going to survive that. Double buybacks. The Exorcism, well, about to wear out, but keep in mind we got the good old Dark Rift available if everything starts to go belly up at this point. But 2 people in caught right now, 3 people actually in the Pit of Malice. Eastfield is desperately trying to run it. They do have a pretty nice Eclipse, but Rubik ends up stealing it back and turning it against him. Vacuum on to 3. They're all dropping low. They didn't end up counting and using the Dark Rift. I think that they might all end up going down at this point if they're not careful. Still trying to make it happen. Madara, he's going to be left alone, trying to cut through the trees, has a
Oh, nice.
They're relocating back in?
Yeah, I think they thought they could fight with them.
Thug? Alright, this was not the way this was supposed to go. Chain feed. And Thug might even go down himself. He's slowed. Pablo is chasing. Alright, at Finem, what are you doing? This was not meant to be. Maybe with it's Save Your Buddy syndrome on the ultimate level. Rubik TP's in as well, but he just might get crushed up in here as well. Well, looking. Alright. Maybe next time.
Trade his life.
Yeah, that's decent. That's good.
Okay. Well, they still got the melee Rex, so everything's fine. Pretty big victory there for Adfinem, but at the same time, they do throw a little bit of gold back the way of Horde. Nice steal by maybe next time, although it was a very long time ago. Stealing that weave for the high ground was just fantastic. Just gave them such a big advantage. And really, the only opportunity Horde would have would be jumping at that perfect moment as the weave was ticking down, and he's just able to fully counter down the entire team.
Yeah, that's a lot of good steals in there by Rubik as well. I mean, it's just exactly what they needed. And having the Blink Dagger up and online at this point, I mean, 20 minutes into it, they've taken Elena Barracks. To me, that always feels like, or excuse me, the melee barracks. To me, that always feels like the point where it's almost no return. Really tough to come back from that, particularly with a lineup like this that, you know, while you do push out lanes fairly effectively, the team fight is kind of lacking outside of, you know, big Darkseer plays, and that you can't always count on that.
He does have the blink now, though, which was something that was a bit of an issue in these last couple engagements.
Yeah.
And thanks to the losses now of Adfinem, perhaps they can take a fight at the next high ground. Unlikely you'll be able to really reveal it at a tier 2 and get anything too successfully. But they might want to try it. Excalibur, he's also only 1 hammer away from his Deso. So maybe if he can farm up another 1,600 gold, he's just closing in on the first one. We'll probably be prepared to fight high ground.
It's a tough one. There's no doubt about that, but you say avenues to come back into this one. It's just kind of time that they need, and It is something that can be afforded. The Darkseer spamming out against these waves. They just need to deal with this pressure. Do you imagine that we see Horde back up and try and go for the shrines, or do you think they just pop Exorcism and go high ground again?
I think you probably pressure high ground, see if you can get TPs. Kind of depends. If we look at the Finem vision right now, they see TA down here. They see her walk into the jungle. They probably figure that there's numerous heroes in their jungle at this point. She's not going to try and pressure the tower. And I don't think you want to waste Exorcism. Then again, they also should know there's no Fortify.
Yeah. Madara, Ops Manta. They do not currently have Luna with them. She's CPing back current right now. Spin, vacuum wall onto 5. Okay, that's a pretty decent way to start it. There also is a big eclipse coming out, and Thug left alone. They lose 3 in just a second. Chasing down Spartan, it does look like Jug is going to be able to escape, but I think Pablo, or rather Spartan, is kind of left to his own devices. A triple kill for the Luna.
Okay, they got their heroes back, and Horde decimated them. E-skill, God. I'm going to assume they didn't see the Blink Dagger, and we're not ready for that one. Immediately annihilating the Underlord, too. He didn't even get his Greaves off.
Oh, man. And now you're kind of left wondering, like, if you make a couple more plays like that, Madara?
I don't even think you need a couple more. Like, that already is going to cut this almost in half in terms of their lead, possibly more.
Ah, jeez.
And as you said, I mean, didn't back away for the shrines. Now those are still there. Might be able to give them a chance at the next Roche if they can hold on to it and use that to their advantage. And speaking of which, he now appears. So the power of StarLadder, can it secure them a Roche? Can it give them a chance to now start closing objectives on the side of Finem will be the question. Madara with this fancy new Manta Diffusal, though.
Well, and Excalibur has the Deso, so if they can manage to control the Juggernaut, just get that StarLadder jump, there's probably a chance to just burst them with TA, Deso, and Blink now.
Yeah, this would be a great smoke opportunity. Radiant Vision, though, they will spot the Deso now.
Right.
They should be aware that it's up. Oh, yeah, of course, it was a pretty quick glimpse. Might not know.
Yeah, they might have
hasted TA, too.
It looks like they were looking over to the top side at Ake and E-Skill, so they might not have spotted it. Find out shortly. They should.
Either way, they're going to get Roche, so it doesn't matter. The vision on TA was enough to say, well, we can just head on in. Oh, they're coming. Yeah. Oh, Pablo, God. Can he do it again?
This is a scary moment right now. Excalibur wants to go in for this one, trying to seal it. Madara was able to take the Aegis, so left alone on the other side, Skylark is not able to throw a decent bit of malice. They throw out the weave as well. Excalibur very low. They need the Glaive, but it's not going to end up coming. Excalibur is gone, and now E-Skill, they have the Shrine to try and keep him alive. Oh, man, not nearly enough. Omni-Slash through it, and what was looking good just a second ago for Horde is suddenly the terrible spot. They do jump forward, get the stun, but well, Pablo is maybe in a little bit of trouble himself now. He jumped forward for that one and puts himself in harm's way. Is going to get ran down. Rubik also stole Crush, so now they've got Blink Crush from Rubik as another form of initiation.
And they're high ground. Creeps to get here. Backdoor gone. Exorcism up.
They've got themselves another vacuum wall. It's really not enough. They have the Crush to follow it up, but I don't know if they're going to be able to have enough damage to burst through this. They are all dropping so low. Madara with the double kill. A third one. My God. Maybe next time find that last kill. And yeah, this is looking like it's pretty much game at this point. After a pretty thrilling game number 1, had Finem, they, maybe a couple of goofs here or there, but they look quite strong.
Yeah, last melee racks, yeah, they'll call it even before it happens. So, well played. We will not get another comeback. There were quite a few today.
Yeah.
No more. And Finem do manage to close that. So, we talked at the start of the broadcast. Finem finally back after the major. Time to make a first impression on the world, as it were, in the new patch. I'm gonna be lenient and less crass because it's new patch and their first officials, but I think that people expect them to do a little bit better probably against Horde, or maybe it's just Horde outperformed and they did a little bit better, but it's somewhere along there. They certainly a good strategy. Surprised they gave them the IO Underlord in the second game as well, but StarLadder, Luna